Hey everybody, this is Nate, Barely Spiritual Direction. Got something a little different for you today. So I wanted to share just a personal, kind of intense reflection. It's actually been very helpful for me in terms of how to interpret a lot of what my life has been like over the last year. And it actually started back in 2022. And in that case, I actually want to get it right into it. So back in 2022, sat in my living room with Beth and the girls, and we were watching Frozen 2 for the first time. And as you know, many of these fun little Disney movies have a tendency to do for some of us, or for all of us, that there's a catchy song. And one of the songs that was probably the most influential and most intense was not like Kristoff's song or even Olaf's. I know, surprise, surprise. The song Into the Unknown. And as I listened to this, it was strange. I've been haunted and felt a great, intense, beautiful connection to something that I've listened to before that has been Disney or another artist. But there was something about the song that just hit me like a ton of bricks. And I could feel like I was hearing God speak to me. And it was not with thunder, not with loud cymbals, not with a sign in the sky, but with a whisper, a nudge, a knowing that I was being called into the unknown. I didn't want to hear it. And so I resisted. And I resisted in that moment because I thought I could follow the call that I was on. I'd been doing some great work, therapeutic work, dealing with shame, incredible stuff that I had finally been able to work through since I was 8, 9 years old. Incredible things. Just stuff I was proud of, my family was proud of. And I just thought that I could keep moving forward and not lose anything as I moved forward. And I thought I could still walk hearing God's voice and doing what I felt like God was asking me to do as a spiritual director, as a father, as a husband. And I thought that I'd be keeping my family together. I believed that whatever this unknown was, I could somehow answer it from the comfort of the life that I had already built and begun to repair the many things that I had made mistakes around. But the unknown was a way of forcing us to choose. And it doesn't always feel fair. Looking back now, the lyrics of the song Into the Unknown actually, line by line, hit my life in a pretty intense way. There's a line in the song: everyone I've ever loved is here within these walls. I'm sorry, Secret Siren, but I'm blocking out your calls. That one, it cut me open. Because at the time, I loved what I had. Beth, my girls, the home I poured myself into. I didn't want to lose it. But the truth is, when you're holding on that tightly, you sometimes block out the very voices trying to set you free. I didn't want upheaval. I wanted restoration. I wanted healing. Just not at the cost of losing everything. But healing and control rarely coexist. Eventually, things unraveled. There was disconnections from Beth, and the reality was that in some ways the healing and some of the setting of the boundaries for me, I think, was such a different world, that there wasn't a whole lot of grounding there. And so she found places and things And I continued to move in the direction that I thought I was supposed to be going in terms of healing and restoration. Didn't realize that when unspoken contracts are broken, that sometimes the partner that has had to deal with or has accepted the contract as it was, it can be very challenging for them. So the narrative was shifted, and I was a different person and a different partner in the story that she told. And it didn't matter how much I tried to explain or hold it together. It had already been decided. And so about a month after I had been forced into an exile, I realized that I had now chosen to step into it. And this was into an unknown space, an unknown world. And this was not by choice, but because there was no path left. And even now, a year later, I'm still walking that road. But it's a road that I feel like I've chosen, that I have accepted. Now, there's a bit of a shift in the song. And that is, but somewhere along the way, something sacred happened. And the shift in the song is the line that echoed deep in my soul and still echoes deep in my soul. And it's just a wonderful and a beautiful question that I love to be able to ask myself. And that is, are you someone out there who's a little bit like me? And it hit me that Jesus is a little bit like me. He knows what it's like to be misunderstood, to be cast out, to be betrayed by people he loved, to walk toward healing while others walk away. He knows what it's like to cry over a city that rejected him, to weep in a garden asking if there's another way, to long for reconciliation and face only silence. He knows I'm not where I'm supposed to be, but he's walked that road too. And he walks it with me now. For a long time, shame, like a suit, kept me stuck. Shame whispered, "You failed. You weren't enough. You're the problem. You're too much." But here's what I know now. Shame is a liar. And once I moved away from shame, once I stopped living in the stories I told myself and shame told me and others wrote for me, something unlocked. My options became limitless. Not because life got easier, but because I stopped disqualifying myself from the future. I stopped trying to fix a story God had already rewritten. And when it comes to rewriting stories, it's probably best for me to leave that to God. And to also, when other people attempt to do it themselves, to say, okay, good luck with that. So I started walking, or in my case, a whole lot of mountain bike riding. This was not in fear, but in faith, knowing that Jesus was walking or riding alongside me. So yeah, I'm still grieving. Yes, I'm still healing. But I'm also still riding. I'm still walking. I'm still trusting. Because exile isn't the end of the story for anyone that knows Jesus. Because exile wasn't the end for Jesus. The cross wasn't the end. The tomb wasn't the end. Resurrection followed. And we're in that season. So I don't have to be afraid of the unknown anymore. Because if Jesus is walking with me, if he knows where I'm meant to be, then I can trust this path and it leads somewhere redemptive. I may not be there yet, but I am damn sure I'm not alone. And resurrection is coming. This is Nate at Barely Spiritual Direction, looking for divine love in everyday moments. If you need spiritual direction, or you need a soul friend, or somebody that is willing to sit and listen to you and offer you care, please reach out to me, because I know what it's like to be in exile. I know what it's like to be disconnected from people. I know what it's like to lose a lot. So if you need somebody to hear you and to be with you, reach out to me. Have a good day, friends.